Hi, I need to film more content, so here I am filming more content. This video is just going to be talking about how I got into cosplay. As a lot of people know, I'm an actor. I have been into acting since I was about 9 years old. It was a good way of me coming out of my shell, especially after my mother died. When my mom died, I was 9 years old, hated the world, hated everybody. I was sent to this dance and drama camp for 2 weeks. Really didn't like being around a bunch of people, but then I soon learned that I do. I actually think people are kind of cool. I started getting out of my shell, I started doing skits, I started doing whatever, and I started getting confidence. As things went on, I realized acting is the path I want to go down. Nothing else really appealed to me other than artwork, but there wasn't much going on for me at the time when it came to art, so I was like, acting, I'm good at that. It was about 2013, 2014, I was hanging out with my two friends, Kira and Pierce, and randomly one day we just said they wanted to dress up as Joker and Harley Quinn. I was like, oh, I wouldn't know who to do. And they were like, just do Joker as well, it'd be good crack. So we did it, we had our fun, it was great. A con opened up in Cork called Kaizoku-Con. If you want to know how I feel about Kaizoku-Con, go look at the other videos that I have where I've spoken about it. It's my favorite con of all time, until I go to maybe a stateside one, and then maybe you'll be in competition, but we'll see. Introduce YouTube karaoke to more conventions. I promise you, it is a good idea. I was like, who will I cosplay? And I was like, oh, I love Doctor Who, right? I got into it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to cosplay David Tennant's version of the Doctor. I really like how he looks. I really like his entire season. I was like, yeah, I'll cosplay him. Pierce cosplayed as Captain Jack Harkness, and Kira cosplayed as Rose Tyler. Had a great time. It was amazing. We were going around, we were doing all these events, we were doing all these things, talent show, whatever. It was a 3-day event. Kira and Pierce, I think, jumped into Joker, Harley Quinn again, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to stay as a Doctor because I don't want to be a second Joker. And I was like, oh man, this is a lot of fun. And I would keep going to this convention to this very day, 10 years later. And I was like, okay, I love this. This is a lot of fun. I want to keep doing it. I want to go to other conventions. So Pierce and I had gone to, I believe, NamCon in 2014. Went to AirDecon before, I think the year before it ended. And I had gone to a few other things. I was like, oh, okay. This is, this I enjoy. It wasn't until I went to Dublin Comic Con, though, this convention that was very much open-ended. This is not just people who are fans of whatever. This was the big one. And it was the big one because this is where people brought their families. This is where people brought kids and on a trip or whatever just to see this thing. It wasn't really for the diehard cosplayers or the comic book nerds, whatever. People just use this as a family trip, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, as you should. But I was going around as a Doctor, and nobody knew who the fuck I was. It wasn't just the fact that they didn't know I was the 10th Doctor from Cork. It was the fact that no one even knew I was the Doctor. I didn't have that bad of a cosplay, but it was just, you have these Deadpool cosplayers, you have these Spider-Man cosplayers, you have all these variety of people. So why would you focus on the guy in a suit and a trench coat? And it was something that really dawned on me. It's oh, if I want to keep doing this, I really should cosplay as other characters. The reason I was cosplaying as a Doctor so much is because I had the suit. I kind of kept my hair, my facial hair to a certain way where I could do that just like that. I was more gearing myself to staying as the 10th Doctor. It was my proper hyper fixation as far as cosplays. And it was oh, it's not going to translate outside of here. So I said, okay, I should start looking at doing other people. I started going through people. I was like, who would be good? And I was kind of going more with characters I like. So when it comes to acting, 9 times out of 10, I'll get cast as the bad guy. It's not a bad thing. But when you get cast as the bad guy too often, you start to think, why am I constantly being made to be the bad guy? Is because I'm not as traditionally good looking as this other guy, so you want to cast him as the lead? You still want me to have a high role, so you're going to make me his counter? I don't know. It was really draining on me. But I was like, I don't have an issue playing a villain. I just would like the opportunity to play a hero. So I started looking at characters that were kind of the in-between. And that's kind of how I found Red Hood. That's kind of how I figured out, oh, this is a character I really like. Because I really did like Nightwing. I did like the entire Bat family. I don't know, Jason just sat differently with me. And I think maybe, not having a great family life. Not having, always being seen as the black sheep of the family. It's like, these are very similar qualities. Maybe not have been murdered and brought back to life, but I was starting to understand the character. Went, okay, I really like this character. I want to cosplay this character. When I was in college, and this is where I was properly like, not only just experimenting about what kind of characters I wanted to play as an actor, but characters I wanted to cosplay. I got to do costume and set design with my college course. And I said it to my teacher because she saw me straight away and went, oh, you're the nerd. You're my nerd, aren't you? And I go, yeah, I am. And I explained that I was into cosplay stuff. And she was like, I knew I was going to like you. I knew you were going to be my favorite. And I was, obviously. We would talk about stuff, taught me how to use a sewing machine, which I probably would be better at if I actually went out and bought a sewing machine. I have gotten all right with hand stitching. Could be better, should probably be practice, but we're here now. I got into doing alterations. I remember I had this bomber jacket, wanted to change it up, and it looked all right for a bit. Came to a point where I was like, where do I want to cosplay? Who do I want to? Eventually said, yeah, we're going to do Red Hood. So I remember I showed a helmet design to my teacher when I got into 4th year, which we were doing costume and set design. No, we were doing set design. And she said, I get to mark how I want, right? While everyone else is going to make like a prop, like a set, like to describe their play or whatever, I want you to make your helmet. And I'm going to help you make the helmet. And she did, fairness to her. It's the first kind of Red Hood helmet I had, which was a kind of immediate design that I had, where it was like just the front, right? Because I was so hyper fixated on having my hair out the back. I don't know what it was. I wanted to do it. I was able to make it, and I was happy with it for a bit until I started getting really annoyed at how shit it looked. That's because, again, I made it. So I was like, I'm going to be very judgmental about my own piece. So then, I think it was around 2017, 2018, around there, they changed Red Hood's look to that of an outlaw with the face mask. And I went, that is amazing. And I get, like, there's a good few things I don't like about the look. I don't like the Bat logo. I do, however, really like the fact that he has an actual hood. Because he's the Red Hood, he should have an actual hood. That is me nitpicking. I'm not against him not having a hood and having just a straight helmet. I think both are really good looks. The only one I don't like is the pill head. That's it. So when it came time to like wanting to design it, I found a basic template on Etsy, made a basic kind of attempt. I made them separate because I like the idea of being able to take them off. And I do intend to buy one where I can take the eyes off. What happened was we went through a period of like, I was trying to make stuff. I had just a plain shirt. I had this little Batman like necklace. I had a red jacket and I had a leather jacket. I was like, okay, red actual hood, put this on. I was just, around this time was when the pandemic hit. So I was trying to figure out what shit I could do, what I could do for, you know, I couldn't go to a convention. My favorite convention actually got cancelled. Like, I got an email saying, hey, just so you're aware, because you had a panel set up, we're going to be announcing that Kaizu is cancelled this year because of the global pandemic. And I went, oh man, that sucks. But obviously that was being affected by everyone. So I was like, I got this itch. I wanted to cosplay. I want to cosplay as Red Hood. I want to cosplay as the Doctor. I want to do all this other stuff. And that's around, I think around that time I just started on TikTok. I was like, I'll just cosplay on TikTok, I suppose. I'll do that. I started filming, and the way I was filming, I didn't know you could do drafts. I had no real friends. I had a decent following. I think when I hit 150, I think I jumped up to 1,000. At that time, I didn't know how the algorithm worked. I didn't even know there was an algorithm. I just thought you just post. So I would post. I would spend maybe an hour to 2 hours in the corner of this room with a tripod set up. I'd record and I just sent everything. I might put in tags, I might put in captions, because I just didn't know how the app worked. So I just fucking threw everything at the wall. And it was good. It was good for a bit. I helped get up a following, met some people, tried setting up projects. And in that time I was like, man, I really need to get a proper Red Hood mask. I did try making another one by dismantling the old one, and it just went bad. I could not replicate what I had done. It was a 1 in a million shot. And here I was dismantling it, trying to make a better one, and I fucked it up. So what happened was, I went on Etsy, found one that I currently have upstairs in my room that I haven't used in a while. And I remember I got that 2 days before Christmas. It arrived 2 days before Christmas. I think I ordered it early October, maybe late September, because my birthday's in September. It didn't arrive till like 2 days before Christmas, and I didn't care. I had it. It was in my possession. I was so happy. It wasn't until later on that I started getting like a Red Hood Arkham jacket and a Red Hood Outlaw jacket, Last Ronin sword. I started buying my stuff because, to me, I was spending more money trying to build the stuff than I could have just bought it. Now I'm getting better at actually making stuff, or making Nightwing, but that's how things were going at the time. I was spending more money trying to make it and failing. Now I've gotten to a point where not only have I got contacts who are great for explaining how to make certain things, between Lucy, between Tom and Apollo, a few others explaining how they make their stuff, and me being able to go, okay, I'm going to give that a go. And trial and error, I've gotten better at it, and now I'm like, oh man, I can open this up, I can do more characters, I want to do X, I want to do Y, that's amazing. And that's how I think it should be. I think it's a case of like finding yourself along the way. And I know people have asked me like, oh, what should I do when it starts cosplaying? I was like, man, just start. Just find a character first that you vibe with. It doesn't have to be this new character or this TV show that's coming out or this movie coming out and you want to get those views. There are people who do that masterfully. They have all these cosplays ready to go. Delighted for them. I'm not one of those people. I find characters I like, I'll cosplay them. If I'm talking to a group of people and they're like, hey, we plan to do X event, do you want to cosplay with us? And if I do, I go, okay, who's the character I can cosplay? And they'll tell me, and if I decide I want to do it, I do it. If I decide I don't want to do it, I don't do it. I don't like chasing views. I don't like chasing all that stuff. I do feel like it impacts things, but right now I'm just happy with I have a good following on TikTok, trying to get them out over here, trying to just make more stuff. I'm trying to like be as proactive as humanly possible. I'm hoping it pays off because people like it. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm still trying to figure out how to best process my brain on a good day. But yeah, I thought it would be a good idea just for like a video, just to talk about how I got into cosplay, what skills I've picked up, what attitude I have, and now I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't know. Write in the comments. Tell me if there's any questions that you have regarding whether it's about my cosplay journey or how you can start yours or where should you go for cosplays. About cosplay, cosplay in Ireland, anything like that. Drop a comment in the. I'm not used to this. I don't know the best way to structure myself on YouTube, but like if you do have a question, drop it in the comments and I will either make a video about it or I'll respond directly. So that's all I've got for today. I hope this has been insightful, and if not, sorry. Anyway, have a good day. Peace.